And episode 3.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 3 of your podcast, where we don't like to be on time and be disgruntled. Welcome to episode 3. Very kind of exciting episode, a little subtle. How's everybody this weekend? Let's start with Mr. RectWizard. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good, dude. Had a family barbecue yesterday and hung out with a lot of friends and my wife's coworkers, and it was a good time, dude. But I was up super late, so tired, running a little behind this morning. But everything was good, man. This week was good. Got some good pickups, got some cool stuff to talk about, so I'm excited.
Awesome. Mr. BlakRanger himself. How you doing?
I am fantastic. Super tired. I've had about 6 hours of sleep since like Thursday, so it's I'm running on fumes over here, but doing pretty good. Glad to be back finally from traveling and doing all that stuff. So I'm just ready to get to your podcast and your ideas. That's why you have it.
That was funny. AK, what's up? What's up with you?
What's up, gang? So I'm doing pretty good. I had again a pretty busy weekend. I did get some pickups though that I'll be sharing some of them right now, but not all of them. I'll wait. I'll push that back to another week because a little bit at a time. But yeah, other than that, doing pretty well.
Okay, great, great. So we're going to start off this week's episode talking about kind of where we left off last week. We're going to talk about Game Pass and how the prices are going up. AK, you want to take the lead on that one?
Yeah. So if you guys didn't know, last week Xbox raised their Game Pass prices. So the prices are now as follows. Um, So new member prices hike will go up July 10th, and existing members will see their prices rise on September 12th. Game Pass Ultimate will pay $20, and that goes up from 17. US subscribers to Game Pass Core will pay 75 for a 12-month subscription, up from $60, with the per month cost remaining at $10 for those not buying the annual deal. The price for PC Game Pass will go up from $10 to $12. And the company also added a new Game Pass option, which is Xbox Game Pass Standard, which will cost about 15 per month. And that will be available in the coming months. So yeah, that's all the changes and stuff that they're making. So yeah, how do you guys feel about that?
Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, French.
I'll jump in there. Being that I'm the one who doesn't have Xbox Game Pass at all, um, it actually is a great service, and the price hikes aren't that much of a jump. But when you look at it over the long run, how they've been slowly increasing the prices incrementally, it's like, where are you guys trying to go from here? Um, like the original, like you said, the year pass $60. That isn't that bad. That's what the Nintendo Switch Online is, but you really do get a lot more with the Xbox Game Pass. So I could understand them, hiking that price up from there, and even the monthly subscription. It's not too bad, but over time, everyone's going up. This inflation stuff is killing everybody. Not just Xbox Game Pass going up now, Netflix going up, and Spotify,
Mm.
and Hulu, and everything. So everybody's trying to increase these prices, but if you're going to increase the prices, what am I getting for that increase?
Mhm.
Don't just increase to be like, but we just want to keep up with the Joneses. If I'm still get the same amount of stuff and you're not putting anything extra in it, don't increase it. At least give me a little added something if you're going to keep increasing my price.
Well, Sam's Club cafe prices are still the same. So shout out to Sam's Club.
Facts. Arizona's are still 99 cents.
Oh man, I found them for 68 cents the other day. I was like, damn, I got to get 2 of these motherfuckers. Oh, sorry. Sorry, excuse my language. Excuse my French, no pun intended.
Cut it out. No. All right, what you think about that, Rick?
I'm going to be honest with you, dude. Growing up having like Xbox Live, I would always buy the yearly thing or whatever, and so it was always like $60 a year for Xbox Live. And I feel like with Game Pass, you're getting Xbox Live plus so much more, right? Like you're getting tons and tons of awesome games. I really don't think $20 a month is super unreasonable, especially because we are moving in that digital age of games and movies and music. So physical media is dying, but you get a real good like bang for your buck, in my opinion. Now I know that I heard that in the future they're gonna stop including like AAA first party titles and stuff like that because they lose money on it, which it was fun while it lasted. I don't know when that would actually happen, but I don't know, man. $17 a month to $20 a month, it's $3 more per person. Right now I believe Xbox has about 34 million subscribers on Game Pass. So, they bump it up $3 more a month. Let's say, what's 34 times 3, it's another over $100 million a month that they're going to generate in revenue. Look, I don't want Game Pass to go away. So if they have to bump it up a couple dollars, I totally get it. And I mean, if you're only spending, like, how much is the yearly going up from? It's going from 60 to 75
Like
per,
a subtle increase.
per
Yeah, it's going up to 75.
Yeah, so for $15 more a year, I mean, we've all been paying $60 a year for Xbox Live anyway since the mid 2000s. So, I mean, I don't think it's that big of a deal to pay $15 more when I've been paying $60 since 2005 or 2006, whenever Xbox Live came out on the 360, and I was paying that yearly fee. I don't know, man. I don't think it's a crazy deal. I get it. I get people aren't excited to pay more for anything, especially in this economy, but at the end of the day, I know that Game Pass is a big, big thing for indie developers, and a lot of indie developers are actually advocating for it and and are in full support of raising the price. Because honestly, a lot of the indie developers that get their games on Game Pass, they say it is the biggest. It's like the best way people play their games, right? Their games get out to way more people through Game Pass, and it help. And I love being able to help like indie developers out, and if it makes them a couple extra bucks, dude. And Game Pass sticks around longer, that's not a bad thing. That's just my opinion.
Okay. AK, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, so I mean, I think Xbox raising their prices is justified. I mean, I know a lot of people disagree with this, but they had a pretty good showcase recently, showcasing a lot of, pretty good games and stuff like that. So I think it's not surprising that they're going to raise their prices. I know also for one of their tiers, they're not going to have day one game releases on there. I know that's something that they used to do. So I don't know. I mean, it might make people not want to use it anymore. I think it's a pretty good service, and I think it competes a lot with PlayStation Plus. I mean, PlayStation Plus is pretty expensive, and it also kind of like going back to Rex's point. I think it is really good for like indie developers because why? I don't know. Like a lot of people don't want to pay, extra money to try out some of these newer games, but if it is included in like Game Pass or PlayStation Plus and stuff like that, is going to be easier for them to, pick it up, digest it, whatever. Because yeah, people don't like to give new things a try, and that's a whole another topic in itself. But I don't think it's that bad. That's my opinion.
Yeah, shout out to Blockbuster, man. Back in the day, you could rent a game for $5 and try it before you drop 60 on it, and now you can't do that. So I think that's why Game Pass is so awesome. Or even I'm subscribed to Game Pass and PlayStation Plus or whatever it is. I have the ultimate package where I get all the PlayStation retro games too. I like both of the services. I do think Game Pass is better than PlayStation's, but I hope PlayStation adds more games, especially like going back in their history of their library of PS1, PS2, PS3 games and adding that. But dude, being able to play Rogue Galaxy from the PS2 like on my PS5 in like on my 4K TV, pretty awesome. So I do like services like this. I don't think, we're all physical collectors. We like physical games. But dude, Game Pass is dope, man. Like I really enjoy it, especially because when you subscribe to Game Pass, if you have a gaming PC, your one Game Pass account is good for your console and your PC. You don't have to have two separate subscriptions to play on both. So like I could be on my Xbox in the living room and then I want to jump on PC. I just log into my account. It's one fee and I can jump on my account on PC or the console. And there are games on PC that aren't available on the console version because they're PC only games. So, I feel like I get even more games at that point. It's a real good bang for your buck. For $20 a month, access to over like a couple hundred games, I think, at this point. I mean, Dude, indie games, like, come on. How many indie games you're like, it looks all right, but do I really want to spend 10 or 15 bucks on it and just test it out? Like, I don't really know if it's going to be good. In this way, dude, people are trying indie games left and right, games they would have never bought because they're not sure. People are a lot more frugal and careful with their money nowadays. And they're like, am I going to buy this game for 20 bucks? I don't know. And now they could just try it. Oh, I didn't like it. Delete it. Download another one. Oh, I love this one. Maybe they want to support the developer and actually buy it. Because they were able to test it. It's like renting games again. It's pretty dope. I like it, man. I've had Game Pass since the launch of the Series X. So,
Okay, well, I guess I could share my thoughts. First, Retro Rob says maybe when I'm 70, he'll get caught up with his backlog. I think that's everybody.
that's everybody.
So I can agree with that. But first of all, let me just say, I don't know how people came to this conclusion last week. There was a couple people that seemed to thought that we felt that Game Pass going to Fire TV was a bad idea. We never said that. Game Pass is a phenomenal idea. So they're gonna be able to reach the masses. And it's like the more, whether we're Xbox fans per se or not, the idea of Game Pass being more accessible even to the casual gamer is good for gamers as a whole. And I'm gonna tell you why, because now that exposes more people to gaming or introduces them to it, and they may be willing to go down that rabbit hole of collecting and finding other content creators and things like that. So you gotta look at the bigger picture. Like no one was against it. It's a fantastic idea. And then bumping up the price, it seems like it's like $2 on each tier, and of course it's what 15 on the yearly one, but kind of pay a premium for paying up front. So there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think it's a huge bump. And Game Pass is excellent. For simple fact that you have it, you can share it, like Rec was saying, and then there's a lot to be offered. Especially like for indie gamers. That was one question that I had at the very beginning when they started Game Pass. Was like, okay, now suppose people only buy Game Pass. How do these companies, how do they make out with their money if they're not selling for whatever the price was going to be? So I'm okay with them increasing the price just for the um benefit of supporting the developer. So I'm sure all that little bit counts. It seems like, I mean, it could be a lot to us, and it's definitely a lot to them on the grand scheme of things. So I'm all for it. I think it's not a big deal. People shouldn't be losing their stuff, but every time when it comes down to money, people are, they're gonna kind of lose their crap over it. Like, why am I paying this and I paid this for XYZ? But like Rex said, it's been $60 since like the beginning of time. So
Yeah.
it's like, to be like,
That's the thing, dude, is like,
that's a long time.
I remember
that price was right there. Normally there's an increase.
Yeah, I remember buying the Xbox Live yearly 60, or 12-month for $60 card when I was a kid. My parents would buy it and we would get Xbox Live for a whole year for $60. And that was, what, almost 20 years ago. Holy crap, dude. Like, that's crazy. Like, since the 360 days. I don't remember dude, on the original Xbox, how much was Xbox Live on the original Xbox?
That's a good question. Anybody in the chat know? Drop that down in there because I'm not sure.
I used to play on the original Xbox Live and play Halo 2. And I don't remember what it cost to play Xbox Live back then. But I know the 360, it was $60 a year, which is not a bad deal. Everybody used to say, oh, well, the PlayStation 3s is free. It's like, yeah, but the PlayStation 3s was hacked every other month and your data was stolen every other month, and they ran that service terribly. So Xbox Live dominated the online gaming world, dude. Like, it really did.
That's very true.
Everybody was playing on Xbox.
So I'm looking up. Someone's actually selling an original one.
Oh, like a starter kit?
No, it's like in the box. I wish I could share my screen.
It came with like the headset and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I remember that kit, dude. Like, that's so awesome.
I can't see the price. There's no price on it though. That's the only thing. There's no price on it. I wish I could see the price what it was back then.
I don't think Xbox Live was a monthly subscription back during the OG Xbox days, though, right? I think you just bought the kit and like plugged your thing in with an Ethernet cable, and you were off to the races. Because the original Xbox didn't have Wi-Fi, so you had to plug your Xbox into your modem directly to use it.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure because I know that was kind of like the online stuff kicking off and stuff like that. So who knows? I'm not really familiar like with those prices because I think PS2 theirs was free,
Yeah,
right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you had to have a modem and all that. I remember the SOCOM days on that, so that's interesting. So yeah, 2002. Yeah, it's not saying I can't find it, but I'm curious to know that information. So if anybody in the chat knows that, drop it down in the chat because I'm definitely curious to know about that. Now, on to the next topic. So this week is a big release. I believe it's the beginning of the big push from Nintendo. So this week on the 18th is the release of the Nintendo World Championships NES uh NES edition, and it also comes with the I believe highly sought after collector's deluxe bundle that includes a replica gold card, got some cool game cards and stuff like that. So I'm excited about that release. BlakRanger, what do you think about it?
I am definitely excited for that. I did get my pre-order in. I'm still waiting to hear when it will be fulfilled, but definitely been waiting for that to come out. I always forget. I was actually just telling Marcus the other day, like I keep forgetting that I pre-ordered it, and I'll see an ad for it and be like, "Oh, I got to get that." Oh wait, I already pre-ordered. I'm good. So I'm definitely excited for that. I'll actually open this one because I still haven't opened my Tears of the Kingdom collector's edition. I guess I'm just collecting at that point. But I'm super excited for the Nintendo World Championship, and I think it'll be fun to get back to those old games and challenge family and friends. You know, playing on games they used to play growing up. I think it's a
Yeah,
great idea, and I'm super excited about it.
absolutely. AK, what are your thoughts on it?
I think it's a really good way to, bring back retro games to the Nintendo Switch to modern day. Also, I think another really big point is, being able to play more couch co-ops. I know Nintendo is really big on that, and I wish it's something
Hmm.
that PlayStation and probably even Xbox would get better at is the couch co-ops because that just, it could bring families together and stuff like that. We don't have enough, so I think that's another good thing that's coming from this release.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally agree. RectWizard.
Um, I pre-ordered mine. I'm excited to get it. I mean, for those of you who don't know, basically, it's basically a replica or they're remaking like the early, the '90s Nintendo World Championships, and the collector's edition or whatever comes with the replica gold cart, like Marcus was saying, which is basically a replica of the original cart that was used at the events. There is a gray cartridge that was used at the Nintendo World Championships that all the competitors played on, and that goes for a lot of money. But then there is the gold cartridge that you could only get, I believe, through Nintendo Power, and you had to win it, and there was only 26 or 27 made ever. So if you have one of those Nintendo World Championship gold carts, I know Pat the NES Punk has one, and he also has a gray cart. Those are worth an obscene amount of money. I think the gray cartridges would probably go for close to between 60 and 100 grand for the gray cartridge, and then the gold cartridge, who knows? Like the gold cartridge, you're talking maybe half a mil,
Yeah.
a couple 100,000 at least. So it's cool to get this set. I do have a gripe with it though. I'm just gonna say this right now. When
Is
I
this your hot take?
no, I got a good one for today. It's gonna piss a lot of people off. No,
You're pretty good at that.
so no, the one thing that bums me out, and tell me if you guys agree. So like the original Nintendo World Championships, it consisted of 3 games on a cartridge, right? It was you had Rad Racer, you had Mario, and you had Tetris. And the idea is each one it wasn't the full game. So basically with Rad Racer, you would try to complete the race the fastest, right? Then it would record your time. Then it would stock that. And then next you would go to Super Mario. I probably have these out of order, but anyway, you would go to Super Mario and you would collect a certain number of coins in a certain amount of time, right? Then you would go to Tetris and you would basically play Tetris until you died or you lost or whatever. And then it would take all 3 of those scores from all 3 games, add them together, and that was your overall score, and that was the competition, right? When I saw they announced this, I was like, dude, I am so stoked to get to play the way that they played in the competition back in the 90s. Turns out it's not that at all. It's only Nintendo World Championship in name. That is all this is. It is not really the championship cartridge. That, you know, it's not structured the way that they competed back in the day. It's literally speed runs. That's all it is. It's a bunch of NES games, and they want you to see how fast you can beat certain parts. It's a speed running cart, which is fine. But I wish they, in addition to all the cool little speedrun challenges that are in the game, I wish they would have added like a classic mode where you could play those 3 games the way that they played it back in the 90s. That would have made the most sense to me, and it kind of bummed me out that they didn't include that in the cartridge. So, I mean, it's cool still. I'm happy to have it. I'm probably not going to open it, if I'm being honest. It's going to sit on my shelf, and I'll probably buy a digital copy to play with my daughter. But I want to kind of keep it in the box just because I'm weird like that. I buy expensive cardboard and I never open it. So I think it's cool. I love when companies do stuff like this. I like when Nintendo and PlayStation and Xbox do a callback to the old days. So I think it's dope. I'm excited to get it. And it was really affordable. I think it was like $50. You know what? 60. That's not bad. So, you know, I think it's worth it.
Yeah. So my thoughts on it, I'm excited. I actually pre-ordered 2 copies. I was thinking about canceling one, just because, like, I figure a lot of times it's not a big price jump if you decide to sell something, if it's new or just in box. Like, normally if you got it in box, you're gonna kind of get that little bit of a premium, and new is not going to be too much of a jump. So I guess that's the way I look at it. Now one big thing that I want to ask you guys after I get through my point is, well, I'll just continue with this one, then I'll ask. I just hope I retain that information. But overall, I think it's a good idea, and even to get to Rex's point, for one, there's updates, so they may add that, especially if it's a call for it, like if the fans want to see that. But also with the speed runs, I mean, essentially, kind of in a way, if you think about the original Nintendo World Championships, kind of was a speed run in a way, a little bit. But in this case, it's kind of modernizing it, you know. So I think that that's cool. And then also be able to pay couch co-op, and then also compare your scores online with people, like that
Yeah.
broadens it. And I can see them doing like a whole kind of competition thing with that, where they have something live and it's with a bunch of people online. Like, I can see that happening. And also wanted to point out, like they said, this is the NES edition, so clearly they have plans of making other versions of this, whether that's going to be on the next Nintendo console or come out on this one as well. I don't know. But one point that I wanted to make that I think a lot of people missed is that Nintendo, this this was for us, our age bracket. Well, some of us, the older generation, because this wasn't for anybody younger than us, because they wouldn't remember. You know, so I think that that's excellent that Nintendo actually cares about the fans. That's a prime example of the way that they care about the fans, because nobody else is really doing that, not going that far back to say, hey, you know, let's get in touch with our audience that kind of grew up with us. I think that that's awesome. So I want to know you guys' thoughts on that, like how you guys perceive that perspective. We start with AK.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good that they're making or pretty much, remaking old games. I think, a lot of companies do that, but then they fail at doing it, kind of going back to what Reg was saying about, like changing, the way you play the game and stuff like that. It almost
Right.
reminds me of what's it called? The GTA Definitive Edition when they remade San Andreas, and it was like a couple other ones as well, but like it just came out like completely broken, and all the like
Hmm.
mechanics and stuff was just all over the place, and it just ended up failing. So I
Yeah.
mean, I guess I'm just curious, to see how it's gonna work when they bring this out and how it's gonna play and it's gonna be glitchy. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be glitchy because usually Nintendo is pretty clean, but that's just proven record of like other people doing it and it doesn't work. So I'm just curious if it's
Yeah,
gonna work well.
that's true. Black Ranger.
I definitely think that's great. You don't get a lot of things made for the older generations. Like, these are things that even as I was a kid, my dad or my mom, my older sisters would play with me. So it's like, oh, now that something new is coming out, hey, they might be interested in playing that again instead of just, a lot of the older crowd likes to go and be, oh, let's play Wii Sports or something like that. But you got something new on the Switch that uh, encompasses everything they grew up with or everything they played uh, when they were younger. And it's like now you can bridge the gap between that older generation and the newer one because everybody wants to speed run now. You see it a lot on, YouTube and things like that. So to be able to bring the younger crowd who wants to do speed runs and beat their parents or their older cousins or something like that at a speed run and be like, I'm better at your games than you are. That's what's going to make it great. It's going to just be tons of family competitions. It's going to be like spades in the black household. Like it's just
That's facts. It's definitely coming. What do you think about it, Rick?
Dude, I love when companies remake the games from our childhood and, give us quality of life upgrades, some graphical upgrades, but keep the core game the same. So I think it's great. I think it's fun. I wish more companies would do it, but do it right. Like AK was talking about that definitive edition for Grand Theft Auto. So it was Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. Basically the three main PlayStation 2 Grand Theft Autos. And it was garbage. It was pretty broken. I had got it on Xbox, and I just wasn't crazy about it. I'd rather pop in my original copies on my PS2. So, but when it's done right, it's pretty awesome. Like Luigi's Mansion 2 just came out. Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door just came out. Mario RPG just came out. So it's cool when they do these kinds of things. And Marcus, after you give your thoughts, this is a great segue or a great topic. I have a question for the three of you, so I want to hear what your thoughts are, but then I want to ask this question because I think it goes with this topic for sure.
Well, I kind of already gave my thoughts, but I'll reiterate it briefly and quickly. So basically, I just appreciate not only them remaking it, but they are it. Like I said, this was more for the original fan base.
Yeah.
This wasn't for the kids. They don't know anything about it. You know what I'm saying? So I just appreciate that Nintendo just has the thought process to focus on the people who helped build them up. I think that's awesome. Like you might get releases or remakes of certain games, but they weren't that long ago. Like to go back that far, 30 something years, I could just appreciate it. But Rec, what you got?
So my question to all of you, including everybody in chat, is since we're talking about games being brought back from the past, if you could pick one game to get a remake, a remaster, or a sequel that never got a sequel, it could be any of those three things, any game in history, what game would that be?
Wow.
What game would you remaster, remake, or give a sequel to? That's a good one, dude. Come on.
I have an idea, but when you kind of made it a very deep question when you said in history, like because it makes me want to put a lot of thought into it. But I mean, I have
Right,
my
yeah.
idea. That kind of it changed the playing field a little bit. But if I could see a remake or just another version, Kid Icarus
Oh yeah.
from 3DS, like
On a
we
home
need that.
console, on the Switch, right?
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah. Like nah, we need that.
Kid Icarus
For
needs some
sure,
more
like-
love, dude. Like I think
Yeah.
it's
Can you
dope.
imagine that on the Switch?
That would be dope, dude.
Oh my god! Like yeah, that's my pick. Kid Icarus for sure.
Okay, AK, what are you thinking?
Yeah, so this again is kind of a deep question, but the first thing that came to my mind was Jack and Dexter. Now,
Okay.
I don't know if I want them to make another one because I know they came out with Jack and Dexter Lost Frontier and it was trash.
Right.
So if they're gonna make if they're gonna make another one, I think they need to bring it back to Naughty Dog and really put some work into it. But I'd love to see it remastered and stuff because that was my favorite game as a
Yeah.
child. Um, but yeah, if they're gonna make another one, they're gonna need to do some thinking because honestly, the series got worse for me as the games
Right.
like kept going on. But I love the first one, so if they could somehow bring it back to the roots and figure it out, then I'd love to see it.
I
I don't have high hopes.
You know what? AK, I would love to see them bring back Sly Cooper, Jack and Daxter, and Ratchet and Clank, the first three games from all three of those platforming series, and give us like a collection of each one, the first 3 games from each one on like the PS4 and PS5. Like that would be dope because they did those collections on PS3, but they kind of stopped right there. It would be nice to see them updated and get those 9 games like on the PS5. Like that would be dope. So I think that's a solid choice, especially because Jak and Daxter is awesome, man. Like I would love to see that franchise come back as long as it's done right. Like I think Spyro and Crash Bandicoot have been handled pretty well with their, the Reignited trilogy or the Insane trilogy or Crash 4. So if they could give those games that kind of treatment, I think that would be dope for sure. All right, BlakRanger, what's your choice?
You're making this hard. Pause. But I was thinking, and I know this will never happen because the company's not even here, but I want a remake or a remaster of Nights in the Dreams from the Sega Saturn because it was awesome. Like,
oh yeah, okay.
That was an awesome game, but we don't have Sega anymore, so it's not gonna happen.
Well, Sega's around.
We don't have Sega anymore. Okay,
Sega's around.
We just got the company as far as
software based. That's kind of right up.
But no, the console is.
You're saying you only want to see it on a Sega console. Am I getting that right? Okay, that's fair enough. But I kind of feel like Sega's gonna get another push. It's my personal opinion.
If they would just make the Dreamcast Mini, it would be great.
No, I want, as a Nintendo guy, I want a new Sega console.
It would fail miserably.
I don't think so.
It would fail miserably. Nobody would buy that shit. You know who would buy that shit? People that still think the Dreamcast was ahead of its time and a good console.
Wait a minute. You
Sorry.
can't just say that.
Sorry.
That's gotta be a hot take.
Sorry. I jumped ahead. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Look, okay, so the game that I would like to see get a remake and remaster.
We're just going to smudge over that like it didn't happen. We coming back to this.
So the game that I would love to see get a remake, remaster, or hell, a sequel, because I know it deserves it, Chrono Trigger. Chrono Cross was not a sequel. It's set in the same universe, but it's not the same. And I would love to see Chrono Trigger get the Final Fantasy VII remake treatment. Like I would love to see that and have them remake the game from the ground up. That or give us a sequel to Chrono Trigger, like a real sequel to Chrono Trigger. Like that would be pretty dope, I think. And I think a lot of Nintendo fans are asking for it, or a lot of just, well, shit, it was on the PS1 also. So yeah, I think that just gaming fans in general, RPG fans, like they would throw their wallet, their whole bank account at you if you told them Chrono Trigger was coming and it looked like Final Fantasy VII Remake, or we were getting a direct sequel. Like people would lose it. So Chrono Trigger would be a big one for me, for sure. Oh, and I'm sorry, one more. You know how like Zelda has Link's Awakening, and now they got the new Zelda game coming out in that like kind of cute art style? Mm-hmm. Give me that same art style and give me a remake of Link to the Past, please. and a Link Between Worlds that was on the 3DS. Like both of those games, give me those in the Link's Awakening art style, like a new remaster in that way. That would be so dope, dude.
Yeah. I could agree with Chrono Trigger, but what I was getting at was they did make it on the DS. So that was kind of a remake, and that's the ideal way to play it, according to a lot of people. I just recently picked that up.
It's also on Steam too. Like if you wanted to buy it on Steam, you could play it on your PC and it's like $10.
Yeah. So, there's other ways to do it, but I do like the thought of them creating that Final Fantasy VII remake, like kind of creating it like, the original one was kind of just straight up turn-based, and they made it action RPG. Yeah. That's more my lane now. Yeah, if they did that and like,
that would be dope, dude. I think that
would be something.
I think they should take all the JRPGs that we grew up with that are turn-based and give them the Final Fantasy VII treatment, dude. Like that would be dope, dude. Like Legends of Dragoon or any of those games, man. Like that would be sick to me. They did that, but
absolutely.
Nobody said true. Earthbound. Nobody wants to see it. A remake of Earthbound,
dude. Earthbound. Yeah, I'm not even I have one hot take enough already, bro. I'm sorry, but like Earthbound, really, dude? Like Earthbound is not boring. So boring. It puts me to
Better than
sleep.
it's better than Kuon. Yeah. So that's
I mean, I've just started Kuon. It's not that bad. But here's the thing.
the fact that you have to say that it's not that bad means that it
Look,
is that bad.
I'm gonna be honest with you. As a collector, like, can we stop BSing for a second and stop pretending like any of these games are really worth over $1,000? There is no game that is that fun that is worth over $1,000. You're gonna tell me that Flintstones at Dinosaur Peak or Little Samson is worth $2,000? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't care how fun it is. I don't care if Skyrim was $2,000. Sorry, Skyrim, you're my favorite game, but I'll never play you again for $2,000. Straight up, never. None of them are worth that kind of money. That is insane to me. There is no amount of fun I'm going to get out of Kuon for $1,000. Like,
Well, the biggest difference between those is, Little Samson and Flintstones, they came out a long time ago. So for the sake of being retro and borderline vintage compared to Kuon, which
yeah, but
I
Kuon is
guess in
still
France,
20 years old at this point. I mean, we're getting up there, dude. We're getting up there. You're closer to 50 than you are in your 20s. Are you? Wait, how old are you? You're an old man now.
I'm trying to keep it PG so you can fill in the blanks. Anyway, so on the other big release news, so apparently I haven't like officially seen this, but I'm gonna look it up. Apparently they started pre-orders for the new Legend of Zelda Nintendo Switch Lite version. So I want to know you guys' thoughts on that. I got my pre-order in, so I'm happy. I'm super happy about that because I definitely wanted that. So I want to know y'all opinions on that.
I'll go. Why not?
What?
Um,
Oh, pre-ordering the new Zelda console?
Or what do you think about it? Just your thoughts on it.
I mean, it's gonna sell out. I'll say that. I mean, so yeah, you probably want to definitely good to be able to get the pre-order in. It's not a lot of. I'll say it's not a lot of buzz about it because everybody, it's not all over social media like, oh, go get your pre-order now. But if you stumble upon it, yeah, you can get it. It looks dope, um, and for somebody like me who has a one of a kind Switch,
Hmm.
maybe I do want to order that. But for those who hop on uh, pretty early, yeah, I think it's great that you can pre-order it because that'll be a day one pickup for most people, especially with the new game. It looks great. I think I'm just waiting until the next system, whatever it will be. I love my one of a kind Switch. Um,
No, you
the the the
don't.
pod, you guys love it. I'm just sorry, chat, you haven't seen it yet because it is amazing.
That should be your pickup for the week. Sorry about that hot piece of plastic. Uh,
It is
so
for sure that.
so real quick, I'm gonna jump in. So according to Nintendo Life, the pre-orders went live 2 days ago. I don't know how I missed it, and I honestly I haven't really seen a lot about it on social media like that, which is kind of crazy. But don't sleep. Don't think that people don't know, because I'm
Yeah.
telling you, once that happens, and I also feel like that in comparison to the Switch OLED, I think they're going to be less of these because the OLED was still relatively new. And give us a little push of sales, but the OLED was way different. So I feel like that's why there were a lot more of those available, just because it's kinda like, that's the actual full console. So that's just my thoughts and my opinion on that. But I mean, overall, I think it's awesome looking. It's definitely a collector's item. I think at one point I thought about getting two because stuff like that, if it's Zelda, Mario, or one of the big names on Nintendo, if they have like collector's edition consoles, maybe not right away, but you give it like 5, 6 years, and that thing is sealed.
It in a rush